Hello, my dear friend. If you're here, it's because you're willing to listen, something that has become increasingly rare as I've grown older. Let me tell you something. Wisdom doesn't come with age, it comes from experience. But what good is wisdom if no one hears it? Today, I want to share the lessons I've learned, not because I expect you to act on them, but because I hope they'll resonate with you. These are truths I wish I had known when I was younger, and perhaps they'll help you avoid some of the mistakes I made. Lesson number 1. Silence speaks louder than words. When I was younger, I thought being heard meant speaking louder, faster, or more often. But as I grew older, I realized that silence carries its own power. Now, at this age, I've learned to listen to the world around me, to my own thoughts, and to the unspoken words of others. Silence teaches patience, reflection, and understanding. It's ironic, isn't it? In a world that values noise, the greatest wisdom often comes from stillness. Lesson number 2. People stop listening, but that doesn't mean you stop sharing. One of the hardest truths about aging is that people stop listening, not because they don't care, but because life moves on. Friends grow distant, family members get busy, and the world focuses on its own priorities. For a long time, I felt invisible, as though my voice no longer mattered. But then I realized something. Just because others stop listening doesn't mean your story loses value. Keep sharing your wisdom, even if it feels like no one is paying attention. Someday, someone will hear you, and it might change their life. Lesson number 2. People stop listening, but that doesn't mean you stop sharing. One of the hardest truths about aging is that people stop listening, not because they don't care, but because life moves on. Friends grow distant, family members get busy, and the world focuses on its own priorities. For a long time, I felt invisible, as though my voice no longer mattered. But then I realized something. Just because others stop listening doesn't mean your story loses value. Keep sharing your wisdom, even if it feels like no one is paying attention. Someday, someone will hear you, and it might change their life. Lesson number 3. Time is both a teacher and a thief. Time taught me everything I know, but it also took away so much. It gave me perspective, resilience, and gratitude, but it stole my youth, my loved ones, and my sense of urgency. Now, I see time as both a gift and a reminder. It's a gift because it allows us to grow wiser, but it's a reminder because it shows us how fleeting life truly is. Don't wait for time to teach you lessons the hard way. Learn from those who have already walked the path. Lesson number 4. Loneliness is not the end of connection. As I've aged, I've experienced loneliness, not because I'm alone, but because the world has moved on. My stories feel outdated, my advice seems irrelevant, and my presence is often overlooked. But loneliness doesn't mean disconnection. Even in solitude, I found ways to stay connected, to nature, to memories, and to the few who still take the time to listen. If you're feeling lonely, remember this. Connection doesn't always require an audience. Sometimes, it's enough to connect with yourself. Lesson number 5. Legacy isn't about being remembered. For years, I thought legacy meant leaving behind something tangible, a name, a title, or a fortune. But now, I realize that legacy is about the impact you have on others, whether they remember you or not. It's in the kindness you show, the lessons you share, and the love you give. Legacy isn't about fame. It's about touching lives, even if only briefly. If you want to leave something behind, focus on the moments that matter, not the monuments. Conclusion. So, my dear friend, these are the lessons I've gained after everyone stopped listening. They're not easy truths, but they're honest ones. Life doesn't always reward wisdom, and people don't always pause to hear it. But that doesn't mean your voice is worthless. If you're younger than I am, take these lessons to heart. Listen while you can, share while you're able, and cherish the connections you have. And if you're older, keep speaking, even if it feels like no one is listening. Your words may find their way to someone who needs them. Thank you for taking the time to hear me out. If these thoughts resonated with you, please share them with someone who might need to hear them too. Until next time, remember, wisdom is timeless, even if the world forgets to listen.